The SEC has to approve, deny, or delay VanEck's application for a spot Ethereum ETF by May 23rd. That's the drop-dead date. So what's going to happen?
The first deadline for the Ethereum spot ETF is next week. This is the VanEck, ARK Invest, and HashDex ETF applications. Experts are saying it will most likely get rejected.
Let's talk with Rick Edelman. He's the head of the Digital Asset Council of Financial Professionals, former head of Edelman Financial Engines, the biggest RIA in the country at the time. Rick, May 23rd, drop dead date. Approve, deny, or delay?
Deny.
Deny.
Yeah, there's no question. I would be astonished if the SEC said yes at this point. We're looking at traffic between the SEC and VanEck. And typically, as you approach a deadline, if they're intending to approve, there's a lot of email, a lot of meetings back and forth as they hone in on the application, get all the T's and I's the way they want them. That's not happening. There's relatively low level.
That's good. So that's the tell. Crickets from the SEC means bad news.
It just means they're not ready yet. They're busy with other things. They're going to kick the can. They have an opportunity to delay this decision, and they're going to do it probably until the end of the year.
There is still hope later this year, especially in August with Fidelity and BlackRock. BlackRock has a 99% success rating with their ETF applications.
I see value in having an Ethereum ETF. These are just stepping stones towards tokenization. And I really do believe this is where we're going to be going. We have the technology to tokenize today. You want to talk about issues around money laundering and all that. This eliminates all corruption by having a tokenized system.
Remember, experts are also saying that the SEC has no choice but to approve an Ethereum spot ETF for the exact same reason that the Bitcoin spot ETFs got approved. Basically, we can see what's going to happen 3, 6, 9 months from now.
Now, when the spot Bitcoin ETFs were denied by the SEC, remember that happened. They were successfully sued on the grounds that they had approved Bitcoin futures ETFs, and the court said since they were similar products, they had to approve the spot Bitcoin ETFs. But we already have approved Ethereum futures. Isn't the same logic applicable here?
I believe it is, but this isn't going to cause the SEC to say no permanently. They're simply saying not yet, which is frankly in the Bitcoin world perfectly fine. The spot Bitcoin ETFs are still so new. There's so much attention there. So many firms are still racing to add these ETFs onto their platforms. The Ethereum ETFs, quite frankly, Bob, are a little bit of a distraction. So I think everybody's kind of okay with the fact that there's going to be a 6-month delay before the Ethereum ETFs come about.
Now, despite all of this, many are calling for Ethereum's price to break down, Vitalik to spend time in jail, Ethereum to be classified as a security.
So ultimately, the real issue boils down to whether Ethereum is a security or is it a commodity. Now, the CFTC says it's a commodity, just like Bitcoin. The crypto community has been mounting legal challenges against the SEC. So what is it? Is Ethereum a commodity or security? And where do you draw the line between this and all the other cryptocurrencies?
It's a land grab, as you pointed out. The SEC wants to call it a security, so they have jurisdiction over it. But that's a really difficult argument to justify. It's hard-pressed to demonstrate that Ethereum meets the so-called Howey test, which is how the SEC determines whether you're
an investment contract.
Exactly. And there's really hard justification to support that. It is a commodity, I believe. I think most are in that camp. It's going to be under CFTC regulation, not SEC, and that's going to force the SEC to say yes, just like they were forced to say yes to Bitcoin.
The bears are out in full force against Ethereum. Do not be fooled. We are witnessing one of the best buying opportunities for Ethereum in this cycle, in my opinion. Ethereum is not in play this cycle. Dude, L2s are on fire. The Ethereum ecosystem sure has changed. 82% of its activity now runs on layer 2s like Arbitrum, Optimism, or Base. This trend will not stop anytime soon, and it is a massive net plus for adoption and the value of Ethereum. Ethereum number of users are booming. BlackRock is launching real-world assets on Ethereum, seeded with $100 million.
I think this particular project that we're doing with BlackRock, as well as the fundraise, is very significant because it's going to be the largest tokenized fund in history, also the fastest growing, as you said, in less than 2 months. became the largest one, and also the fact that this issue by the largest asset manager that has also become a shareholder and a board member of the company is a very important step in our journey.
ZK upgrades are coming for more scalability and privacy, plus the ETH ETF is inevitable. Larry Fink has done a masterful job ensuring the best entry for his clients into Ethereum after the ETF approval this year. Clearly wanted to make up for Bitcoin pumping 2x before he could enter that.
The reason for the call today, John, is something just came across my desk, John. It is perhaps the best thing I've seen in the last 6 months. If you have 60 seconds, I'd like to share the idea.
Do not be fooled. We warned you about this last year in an interview with Lark Davis.
There will be a time, especially when Bitcoin ETFs get approved, that everybody will say, it's only Bitcoin, baby, nothing else. Bitcoin maximalists will come crawling out of the woodwork. Everyone's wrong. Ethereum's going to go to zero, blah, 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 all the stuff we've heard before. There are times and seasons for different assets, and there will be a Bitcoin ETF, and it'll pump Bitcoin like crazy. Bitcoin dominance will rally super hard. All the money will chase after that. And then Ethereum ETFs will be approved, spot ETFs, not futures ETFs. Futures ETFs are garbage. Spot ETFs are the real deal. And then Ethereum will be the new paradigm of money. And then the market will start taking off more broadly. But I just think that you have to look at the reality that Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin on a total percentage basis. So if you were to invest $10,000 in Bitcoin and $10,000 into Ethereum, the Ethereum, I believe, will give you higher gains by the end of the cycle. Now, how much higher gains? It's probably not going to be super significant. It's not like Ethereum is going to 50x and Bitcoin's only going to 5x. It's more like Bitcoin will 5x and Ethereum will 7x, something like that. So we'll outperform, but it's not going to be super dramatic outperformance. So that's something I need to highlight here. But there's so many things working in the favor of Ethereum outperformance. Bitcoin's got the Bitcoin ETFs. Bitcoin has the halving, all very exciting. Ethereum has ultrasound money, massive deflation, huge amounts of Ethereum being locked up in the staking contract. It's like 28 million coins right now. It's an over 2-year wait to get out of the staking contract. So that's a massive supply lock. Demand rising all the time for Ethereum layer 2 networks, which is sucking more ETH off of exchanges. Ethereum exchange balances at a 5-year low, down well over 50% in the last couple of years, down to about 14 million coins. So there's now twice as many coins in the staking contract, which are locked up for a long time to get out of that execute versus what's on exchanges. So Ethereum's got the moon math behind it without a doubt, plus more use cases, obviously, than Bitcoin. What's interesting is that an Ethereum ETF could even be more compelling for a lot of investors than a Bitcoin ETF, because the Bitcoin ETF is like holding a gold ETF, which is cool. An Ethereum ETF is like, exactly, it's more like holding Apple stock or something like that, because you get that dividend payment and massive exposure to massive innovation right across the crypto space. If you're bullish on layer 2s, if you're bullish on NFTs, if you're bullish on stablecoin payments, if you're bullish on crypto gaming, if you're bullish on any of that stuff, you buy an Ethereum ETF because that's going to give you exposure to all of it, plus a dividend yield.
Do you want to know the real reason why these spot Ethereum ETFs will get approved and Ethereum and crypto will pump a lot higher? Well, the former Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, just made some interesting comments on stablecoins on Bloomberg last Friday. This is extremely important for a few reasons. First of all, he mentions stablecoins unprompted in response to a question about how Congress can deal with the debt. This is pretty interesting. The first thing he thinks of is stablecoins. Second, he's repeating industry talking points verbatim, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure that stables, if considered a sovereign, are the 16th largest buyer of treasuries. Third, this is Paul Ryan, former House Speaker, not some junior pro-crypto representative. The fact that someone of his stature is willing to openly say that stablecoins are a potential solution to the debt is quite remarkable and represents a considerable tonal shift. Have you noticed that elite policymakers have begun to make this transition towards recognizing the validity of stablecoins and accepting that they will be part of the financial fabric of the nation? I wonder who's helping them with that. Listen to Paul Ryan speak on this. This is absolutely amazing. Paul Ryan is pushing for a stablecoin bill that would increase Tether and USDC to trillions of dollars. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Treasury, meet your new source of demand.
I guess the question is, what could you do now, knowing we have debt problems in the future? I think there's a couple of things Congress could do. They're not, but maybe they'll get something done. I think stablecoin legislation would be a good step in the right direction. That could be helpful. That could be done this year. But I don't see anything other than that on the horizon.
Let's talk about stablecoin, because I've heard you say that actually getting legislation on that could help treasury auctions. And when you said it, I said, what's the connection there? Take us through, take our audience through that connection.
Yeah, so stablecoins, which are digital private sector dollar-backed currencies, it's not crypto because it's tethered to the US dollar. They have to have dollar-backed assets. They have to have treasuries or cash to back those stablecoins. There's not a law that governs these right now, so they aren't really deployed. But if you actually have a law, which Patrick McHenry and Chair Waters, Maxine Waters and Patrick McHenry are putting a deal together. Schumer's in talks with them. I think there's a reasonable chance they could get a deal on stablecoin legislation. That means you have a legal framework in which you have stablecoins deployed. You'd go from a couple $100 billion of stablecoins to, maybe trillions. Right now, stablecoins are like the 16th largest buyer of bonds, bills, and notes among all sovereigns. If you actually regulate stablecoins, have them deployed, that does two things. That gets the U.S. dollar more deeply ingrained in the oncoming digitization of currencies. That's a good thing. And you create new consumers' demand for our bonds because they have to have those to back up the stablecoins. So more demand for treasuries, more use of a digital dollar throughout the system to help better entrench the dollar. It's a win-win situation for America. I think it's a no-brainer. I'm hopeful, cautiously optimistic Congress might do that this year still. There are good talks happening. And that's one thing you could do on the margin to try and, improve demand for our bonds and improve dollar.
Ethereum to $10,000, I think, is still on the table. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We update you on crypto on a daily basis. If you're interested in making money in crypto, make sure you subscribe, like the video, support the channel. My name is Aaron. Altcoin Daily 2024 is shaping up into a great year. See you tomorrow.